Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your weekly reading for June 11th to the 18th. This is for Cancer, Sun, and Rising, and if you're new to my channel, I do a traditional occultic cross spread. I also use astrology and my guides to help bring a lot more clarity, to get more specific and detailed with your reading, Cancer. I do this because I love you. I want you to feel like it's a personal reading, as if we're here one-on-one, rather than a general spread. Lastly, Cancer, I use astrology because it brings a lot more depth to your readings. Now, with that said, Cancer, this is a big week. This is the biggest week of June. And if you saw my the monthly reading that I did for y'all, oh my goodness, this is the biggest week. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. June 11th, Mercury trining Pluto. I talked about this in your last reading, I think, but this is a great day to sign contracts. I know it's a Sunday, so even in that Monday, but it's a great time. It's really like being very persuasive at this point. A lot of communication activity, having power in communication. This is absolutely wonderful. Pluto is actually going back into Capricorn around this time. So what's really interesting, Cancer, I want you to think about what happened for you from March until now, okay? When it comes to anything that was changing in your life, and if it had anything to do with inheritance, if it had anything to do with investments, other people's incomes, other people's money, the 8th house, because Pluto is an Aquarius, was an Aquarius in your 8th house. Also, like, it is like intimacy and sex as well in that area. We're all adults here. We can talk about this. But think about that, because it's, like I said earlier, in your annual or even in your March reading, when Pluto did go into Aquarius, you're getting a preview of what's to come for the next 20 years, starting January 2024. Okay, Pluto going back into Capricorn for the rest of the year, you may actually be rethinking partnerships. Okay, you may be rethinking, whether with loved one or whether in career, but that just may be something that may resonate for Cancers, mostly Cancer risings, to be honest, but every Cancer will be affected in a way, but it's just like Cancer risings will definitely feel it a lot more. Now, the big thing that's happening this week is not only is we're still on June 11th, Mercury is going into Gemini. Now, the reason why this is a big deal for you, the reason, Cancer, is because Mercury was retrograde for 3 weeks, and it was one of the most challenging Mercury retrogrades in my opinion. It was really, there's a lot going on, and then Mercury went into shadow, which is kind of just like, I just say it's like brain fog, but now it's like locked and loaded, ready. Mercury is a ruling planet for Gemini. It feels at home in Gemini, and it's all about having clarity. Now you're gonna have so much clarity, things are gonna speed up, you're gonna, like, information overload, it's gonna be really great. All that is happening in your 12th house, okay? And the reason why that's really important is because on the 17th, on Saturday, we have a new moon in Gemini. This is huge, okay? So at this point, we have Mercury in Gemini and the new moon in Gemini. So this is all in your 12th house. And so this, I'm not going to lie, is kind of a big thing for you, because it's your subconscious, and it's you are a very intuitive sign as a Cancer, all right? So pay attention to your dreams now, and you could be unrooting a lot of things, that have been holding you back to move forward. You could get very spiritually active too, and the reason I say that is because on the same day, Saturn is going retrograde, and this is actually a good thing. Saturn is like the planet of tough love. It's the taskmaster planet. It's a planet of responsibility, and so when it goes retrograde, it's really allowing you to think about like your long-term commitments or your long-term goals. And Saturn is in Pisces. That is in your 9th house, is spirituality. And so when you add all this together, when you do all the math, this could be a very profoundly spiritual week for you. And I want you to ask yourself, what does that even mean for you, right? Spirituality means so many different things for so many different people. And so, whether it's your belief system, whether it's your philosophies, there could be something there. You may even decide to do something like joining some sort of group, like an organization that's like spiritually active. Gemini is a very social sign, and we are in Gemini season, and this new moon is in Gemini. Gemini. So keep that in mind. But it's all about, like, new moons, bring new beginnings. You set intentions, the things that you want to manifest. So I really love that for you. One thing that I want you to also remember is that Mars and Venus are in Leo. So they're conjuncting all month, mind you, all month. That's very fiery, and I've talked about this, and it's in your second house of salary. So a lot of y'all could be getting something new in terms of income, the business, or things could just get really fiery in that aspect. Okay, now the second house also does rule like your values, self values, okay, and self-worth, and things that bring you comfort and security in those regards. So think about that, because it's everything. Again, looking at what's going on for, just for Cancer, it's a lot of spiritual potential for like spiritual activity, even like higher education. You could go back to school. You could want to learn new things, whether it's spirituality related or not. You could even think about traveling, doing these long spiritual quests, or even like, just going somewhere for the weekend and just having this moment to decompress and just really get centered, right? So that's happening. But again, remember, this new moon, it's all about planting seeds. Now I get a lot of people asking me to leave like the luckiest dates of the week or of the month, and so that's it. It's this weekend. It's the 16th, 17th, 18th. All right. Actually the moon is going into Cancer on Saturday, so hey, that's great for y'all. Great for y'all. It's going to be a great, fantastic weekend. I absolutely love this weekend. Saturn does, like I said, does go retrograde on the day of the new moon in Gemini. I really love that. And at this point, like Mars and Venus and even Uranus they're kind of like leading the brigade. So really is a lot about your self-worth, self-value, finding confidence in those areas. Okay, going after new things that you want, but also in terms of salary and finances, that may be a big thing. Again, that's all month long. That aspect's all month long. So let's go ahead and get started, Cancer. Let's see what's going on for you for the week of June 11th to the 18th. This is for Cancer, Sun and Rising. And I say Sun and Rising, and I always say, like, feel free to read for your moon, your Venus, all those other placements. If you know your birth chart, you should probably read for your moon this week too. I mean, with the new moon, it would be a good idea. It will definitely bring you a lot more clarity. So definitely give that, if you know your birth chart, if you know all those details. But let's go ahead and get started, Cancer. Let's see what's going on for you for this week, June 11th to the 18th. All right, so Cancer. Like I said earlier, I do a traditional occultic cross spread. Okay. That always happens to me. Okay, look at this. So what I was going to say is, if I need to pull clarifiers, I'll pull clarifiers. But I normally trust my guide, so I don't pull that many. But let's get started. This is a big week. Oh, this is a big week. You've been planning things. You've definitely been planning things. You got the Two of Wands, all right? The Two of Wands. It's almost like things have been like, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening for Cancers now, especially when it comes to career. You definitely just went through like one of your best career years, okay? Now, one of the reasons why I said be social not only this month but this week is because Jupiter moved into your 11th house. Okay, Jupiter is a planet of good luck, prosperity, expansion, and belief. And remember all those other aspects in terms of spirituality and anything that has to do with that area. This is really expanding that right now. And so I really absolutely love that for you. But you're coming out of a period where things were really good in terms of career. Now, some of y'all may say, well, it wasn't a great career year. And you have to think of it in relation. 2020 was not a great year for y'all. And even 2021. So you had the best career year last year up until this May, comparatively to 2020. Okay, and so now we're actually moving into your 11th house, where it's all about your hopes and wishes, which is great. And remember, this is a year long, but you do have the Two of Wands. Okay, and it came up in your past, so it's almost like you've accomplished a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you may have been stuck on, and you're planning now, because some things that you may have wanted, that you may have thought you wanted, maybe aren't the things that you wanted. And there's also a sense of, there's some things that you do want to do, but you're not really ready yet. Okay, or there's something holding you back, but it's why you may have been planning. Okay, it also depends on the day that you watch this reading too, that because this is in your past. But the Two of Wands, you can see he has a globe in his hand. One thing I'm going to point out to you, Cancer, the reason why I feel like it's like more planning mode rather than like moving forward is because you see that these are the wands. Wands are creativity, self-expression. They're invigorating, they're lively, their ideas, your passions, also work related. But this is when I say planning, is his world. He has the world in his hands, so he's already accomplished a lot. But it's almost like, what's next, right? And he's not necessarily like moving forward yet. There's still something that it's almost like I need clarity in this area. And I feel like you're going to have it soon. But you also see something here. I'm going to point this out. You see there are two wands. You see this one is actually bolted to the wall. Wands do not like being bolted to a wall. So it's almost, again, not really like going yet, but just like planning, and you have to be ready and know that you're ready with moving forward with any of your passions, creativity, ideas, any of that. Let it marinate. Take some time really thinking about it. Again, with Gemini moving into, or Mercury moving into Gemini, that's a lot of clarity. And so you will have it this week for sure, because remember, this came up in your past. All right, now in the heart of your spread, you got the Lovers. All right, this is very significant. And what's kind of blowing my mind is that Lovers has been showing up almost in like every reading. And this card is ruled by Gemini. And we have a new moon in Gemini. And we are in Gemini season. And what I told you from the very beginning, what I said from the very beginning of your reading, is that some of y'all may be rethinking or even just thinking about partnerships. Okay? There's your affirmation. This is a card of relationships, partnerships. You can see Archangel Raphael. He's the one who's gifting the love here. This is, the Lovers card ruled by Gemini. Now, let's call them Adam and Eve. You see them standing there. Archangel Raphael is the one that's gifting the love. He's the healer too, by the way. It's up to them to decide what to do with it. And so there's a lot happening in this card. You see the full abundance of the sun, a lot of sunlight, a lot of optimism. You see the tree of life, the tree of knowledge. Here's the thing. This came up in the heart of your spread. This ultimately, at the end of the day, is a card of choices. Okay, what are you going to do with that love? All right, are you in a relationship right now? Do you want to take it to the next level? Or are you ready to let it go? Are you in a career that you love? Are you ready to, move up the ladder? Or do you want to go a totally different direction? It's up to you. It's up to you. Because when you break this down, it's look at him, Adam. Look at Adam looking at Eve. Look at Eve looking at Archangel Raphael. So that's conscious, subconscious, superconscious. That's Trinity. That's you. Remember, I talked about spirituality. This is a lot of self-love too is coming up too. Okay, loving yourself that's going to make all the difference moving forward, because it's going to help you make this decision. Okay, but it does look like there is going to be a decision that y'all are going to. It's pretty significant. Again, with this being a card of choices, and then you got Judgment in your challenge area. This is the card of spiritual awakening. So do you see what the theme of this week is? There's a lot happening with spirituality, but also, again, ask what that means. Ask yourself what that means for you, okay? But with it coming up in your challenge area, there could be again, with this coming up in challenge area, with a six lovers card in the heart of your spread, and the two ones in your past, there could be you're not ready. It's like this is a week where you have to make this big, profound decision regarding a partnership, a relationship, or even again inside this is spiritually. Okay. Because judgment is all about, again, spiritual awakening. This is all about having that aha moment. This is like having that like reckoning, right? You see the Archangel Gabriel here blowing the trumpet. The dead are rising, the dead are gray in Terra's wisdom. And you see that when they hear the blow of the trumpet, it's so profound. They're actually rising from their coffins, okay? And so now they're seeking this meaningful life experience. However, came up in your challenge area. So this week, I encourage you to go within and find that moment that will offer you the sense of freedom and really, in touch with your spiritual side and really in touch with your intuitive side as well. All right, moving forward, because that's what's, when you're in touch with your intuition, everything's just better. Everything's better. You make sounder decisions, judgments, or better judgments in terms of, decisions that you do have to make. It's honestly like you're speaking, I mean, you did get the judgment card, but in your challenge areas, so that intuition is going to really help, and just really, really going within, having that moment. Again, remember, new moon in Gemini and Mercury in Gemini and us being in Gemini season, Sun in Gemini, that's all in your 12th house. That's all in your 12th house, the subconscious. So pay attention to your dreams too. They could be telling you something, even your spirit guides. There could be messages that you need to hear that may help, okay? So be receptive to those. Now, you did get the Queen of Swords in your crown, which is really interesting, okay? Queen of Swords, this is someone who's left all emotions at the door. This is someone who has a history. She's got a past. She's been through it, okay? She's definitely been through it, and she's sitting in this throne with so much power and authority because she worked her way. Her life experiences brought her here. You know that how it's not really a saying, but like, I guess it's a saying, but you know how they say, like, with comedians, I feel like I said this in your last reading, comedians, they always have a backstory where they had like a traumatic childhood, or they had like a really dark upbringing, or something that was really, they came from like a dark place in their life, and that's what fueled them, was humor, was making other people laugh, was making, staying positive. And that's how they became these, comedians. And all successful comedians have had some sort of backstory of something that happened. And that's the Queen of Swords. She had some things that happened in her past, and it's really, really, she's endured through the years, and she doesn't want anything like that to happen to anyone else. And it's very like, she's very much like the Justice card, okay? So this is just head above the clouds. I only want to hear the facts and leaving all emotions at the door because I'm fair, I'm honest, this is who she is. She leads with her head, okay? She leads with her head, and this is in your crown. So this week you are going to be really just like headstrong, okay? What you have to do to really connect spiritually, to really tap into your intuition, to really just, especially with Mars and Venus and Leo as well. That's a big thing. Self-worth, self-value, just being headstrong too. Now, you did get the 9 of Pentacles. If I remember correctly, you got this in the same spot in your last reading. I'm going to have to double check. But, this is really great. It's very grounding. This is Venus in Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. I love that it is in the root of your spread. This is really, it's abundance, it's wealth, it's financial freedom, it's success, right? And so think about abundance in your life as well. This is really interesting because it's saying that a lot of y'all are looking for that, not only that independence, but even like abundance in your life. And so this is money and wealth too, okay? Remember I said Mars and Venus in Leo. They're conjuncting in Leo, all right? In your second house of salary, all right? So this is money, wealth, but also your physical reality. Remember, it's earthbound. So like things in your physical world, but then also remember the second house is self-value, and what you're worth, knowing what you're worth and being proud and confident in that area. And the other thing is the fact that, you know, she is ruled by Venus. You see Venus all over her gown. So that is very significant with Venus being in your second house. But it's almost like that's what's going to, it's like everything here, the decision that you have to make, a choice that you may have to make, hearing the sound of the trumpet, the blow of the trumpet, being spiritually active, having this plan to move forward is going to bring you that abundance. It's going to bring you that wealth. And when I say wealth, wealth in all areas of your life, right? Like wealth in, you know, your career and your family and your home and, you know, happiness. So keep that in mind. Now, you did get the Three of Swords in your future. And so this is the heartbreak card. So there could be a decision you make that could be a little heartbreaking. Now, I am going to clarify that because it's really interesting here thinking about how Pluto did go back into Capricorn in your 7th house of partnerships. So you may be thinking about partnerships, and that came here. And again, that can be work or career, but with this being in the heart of your spread, yeah, it's you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's almost like this is a very deep reading for you, Cancer. I'm not going to lie. Very deep. Very, very deep. Again, I'm not surprised, though, because all this activity that's happening in your 12th house. And in your, with Saturn and Pisces in your 9th house of spirituality. And then with Mars and Venus and Leo in your 2nd house of self-worth and self-value. That this is basically saying that there is a choice you're going to have to make this week. And it's you need to really be intuitive about it. Okay, you need to be intuitive about it. It's going to be hard for you to move forward without having that intuitive side. Again, that is one of the reasons I say that is because I already said, yeah, y'all are already so intuitive. So when you're disconnected with that part of you, it's almost like you're just disconnected in a sense. So hold on to that, like intuitive spiritual side. But you see that the Three of Swords is clarified by the Justice card. So whatever happens that is heartbreaking, you will be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. This, you know, the Justice card is saying that justice will be served. Now, the other very interesting thing here that I'm going to point out and why partnerships is going to be a big thing for you, huge thing for you. Queen of Swords, ruled by Libra. Three of Swords, ruled by Libra. Justice, ruled by Libra. Libra is the native ruler of the 7th house of partnerships and relationships and marriage. And so this is very big. Partnerships is going to be a big thing. And, you know, like I said earlier, Queen of Swords is like the Justice card. And there you go with the Justice card in your future. But coming after the Three of Swords. So it looks like there is going to be a little bit of heartbreak, a little bit of grief that you can expect. But it's you're going to be fine because you got the Justice clarifying it. Okay, this is all about that balance. It's like balance. When I say balance, this is very karmic related. Okay, so this is all in your favor karmically. Everything's going to be in your favor with the Judge here. Okay, with her swords pointed just like the Queen of Swords straight to the sky, and the scale, the symbol of Libra, you know, that balance. All right, so when I talk about karma in balance, it's think about like everything in your physical world, but also think about like mind, body, soul, like that balance. If you, even your chakras, if you feel like your chakras are off, but that's really, really significant. This is really interesting. This is very interesting. very partnership energy is going to be big this week. So remember, with that new moon in Gemini, again, it's going to be in your 12th house. So it really is a good time to just start thinking in a new way, manifesting something new, or initiating something for a new beginning. Okay, even a way of thinking, unrooting things that may be holding you back. And it explains why the Two of Wands is in your past. Okay. I really love that, the Justice card. So yeah, there could be a little bit of heartbreak, but for every Cancer, it's going to be different. It's a scale. Some, it may be like a 1 or a 2. Some, it may be more. It may be like a 7. But it's it's something where even before. So it is like we call it the heartbreak card, right? Like a little bit of pain and grief. At the end of the day, it's still a sword suit. Okay, remember, the swords are the mental suit, like communication, logic, intellect. So I want you to pull the swords out before they get up here. Okay, so because then it can be like really distracting, and then you will lose all that. It'll get distracting in terms of all that clarity that you'll have this week. So, but again, know that justice will be served. I mean, with the Justice card coming after the Three of Swords, absolutely yes. It's like, again, this is, like in the Hunger Games when they say, may the odds be in your favor. They're in your favor. Okay, so you're good. You're good. Obviously, you're going to have a little bit of like regarding maybe a decision you have to make about a partnership, whether work, career, love, or remember, self-love. There could be something that's prohibiting you from loving yourself, especially with that Judgment card coming up in the challenge area. This is the week where you're just unroot it and face any of those fears that you may have. That's what Pluto does. Pluto's, a powerful planet. It is a planet of power, and it's saying, like, are you going to fear me or are you going to face me, right? So it's all about like facing any fears that you may have too regarding that. So let's get to your stuff. Cancer. If you like this reading, by the way, it'd be so great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. I want to hear what's going on. If you are new, if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for being here. You are amazing. You honestly, like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So I am truly grateful and very appreciative. So Cancer, look at what's going on here. This is absolutely okay. So let's get started. You did get the Ten of Swords. So this is definitely indicating you just want this to end. Okay, whatever situation it is with a partner, whether it's love, romance, whether it's self-love, whether it's with career related matter, just something that's happening, that's all you want. You just want it to end. That's all you want. When I said pull those swords out, 3 is all about growth. It's all about advancement. Learn from it, okay? So anything that you may be going through this week that could be a little bit challenging, learn from it. Learn from it. Because with the Ten of Swords, the whole point is for it to never happen again, whatever the situation is. Right? This card is all about rebirth. This card is all about it's 10 is the end of this suit. And so you can see one thing I'm going to point out, even though he is completely impaled by these swords, you can see his hand is in the hand gesture of the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the spiritual leader. He's the Greek priest. He's the Pope energy. And so it's blessings. So you will have those blessings as long as you learn from everything that has happened, just so you don't go have that experience again. Okay, this is saying you'll never have this experience again, because 10 is the end of this card of new dawn. Those dark clouds are clearing, the sun is coming through, but you have to learn from all these swords. Remember, it's like taking the swords one by one, and go at your own comfort level. I'm not expecting you to do it overnight. Go at your own comfort level. Remember, your intuition is going to really help, especially because you got the Queen of Cups. Queen, water, cups, water, double water. She is Cancer. She, by the way, is the most intuitive queen. She is very psychic, and she's very loving. A lot of self-love too. Okay, it's very internal. or the love is internal. It's, that's how the queens, their energies are internal, their powers are internal. Okay, she has a lot of love to give, and you can also see, there's water here, water in its emotions, right? You see her feet are actually in the water. She's very connected emotionally, all right, intuitively. She has that emotional intelligence. Came right after the Justice card in your external factors area. So again, very spiritual energy, very intuitive energy, and an energy of like comfort and love on your side. Whether it is through your spirit guides, you could be getting a message, you could be getting comfort, or it's someone in your family, someone that someone that's very loving, all right, that after this situation will be very supportive. Okay, very supportive. Now, you did get the King of Wands, all right, so it looks like you just want to get out of this situation. King of Wands, this is someone who, first of all, is Leo. Okay, remember I said Venus and Mars are in Leo this week in your second house of money and wealth, or self-value and self-worth, which is a stronger message coming through here. But the King of Wands, all you want to do is just get to a point where you're back to your Cancer energy, where you're just loving and very passionate and creative and just back in your element, all right, sitting in that throne. The Wands are, again, very invigorating, very lively, very a lot of enthusiasm with this card, but even career-wise, for a lot of y'all, that's going to resonate a lot because he is, like the entrepreneur of tarot. But you did get the Three of Pentacles. I love this, all right? So when I say be social this week, I want you to be social. This is a card of, teamwork, all right? This is a card of teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. And it's built at success when you work with other people, when you are social. So definitely reach out to other people. It's again, what did I say? Three is all about creation, growth and advancement, and that happens when you're working with others, when you're bonding with others. Okay, bonding is a human condition. I say it all the time. Like, go back to the beginning of humankind. We hunted in packs, we traveled in packs, we slept in packs. There was never an I. It was always we. We always did things together, and so it is a human condition. It raises our oxytocin levels. It makes us happier. Harvard even did a study, an 85-year study, right? That finding trying to find the answer on what is the true key to happiness, the key to true happiness, and it was social fitness. Okay, a relationship with other people. But it looks like there is going to be some growth in that area. This is your final outcome. But like working with other people and be social. It's going to be, that's in your final outcome. And again, that is success. And it is like, it's like, learning through that process. And again, with Saturn in Pisces, I really like that because that is in your ninth house, and that is it's going to be really good for you with Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter and Taurus in your 11th house or social network, expanding your community and organizations, even joining a book club, a bake club, whatever you want to, but just be very social. That's what's really going to help. Okay. And I know that Cancers, here's the thing, y'all rule the fourth house, right? The domestic sector, home. That's why it's the stereotype of Cancers or homebodies or whatnot. But y'all are you take your home seriously, and a lot of y'all feel a lot more comfortable at home. So bring the events to your place. Okay, do that. Bring, the book club to your house, and and just be social. Just be social. That's all I want you to do. But thanks again for tuning in. Again, this is a deep reading, very deep reading, big reading. This is a big week for you. But again, you'll be fine with a Justice card clarifying the Three of Swords, with Queen of Cups, with a Justice. I love that. You got two queens here too. Queen of Swords and Queen of Cups. Queen of Swords in your crown. I love that you got the Nine of Pentacles in the root of your spread. Again, she is ruled by Venus, but the crazy thing is, like this, the Lovers card ruled by Gemini, and this week the Sun's in Gemini, the moon, we have a new moon in Gemini, Mercury's in Gemini, and very beginning I said that some of y'all are going to be thinking about partnerships, but it looks pretty clear now. And again, that's work, career, love, romance, or even self-love too. But thanks again for tuning in, Cancer. Next week's a big week. Oh, that's a big week. Not as big as this week. This is a big week, the biggest week, but next week is also big. We have that Jupiter sextile Saturn. We'll talk about that. And then, hey, it's your birthday season. Happy birthday. Or I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I'll say it next week. But we're moving into your birthday season. The sun's going to be in Cancer, shining light in your sign. Okay? So that's going to be amazing. And then Mercury immediately goes into your sign. So I will see you next week, Cancer. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.